Hey guys, and how about we talk Tokyo Ghoul? So I normally don't talk about things, but I wanted to talk about this. In case you weren't aware, Tokyo Ghoul is an anime series that the first season had 12 episodes, and the first episode of the second season just aired today. Or I guess yesterday now, the 8th of January, I believe. But yeah, it was awesome. I think it's also a manga, but I never read the manga. I recently got into the anime, so yeah. Part of the reason I want to talk about it, despite never really talking about anything like this, is that I just marathoned it again, and I haven't watched a lot of anime, and I really just don't in general, but this one's really good. Though I also do know that it's not for everyone. It has a lot of gore, it's very, violence-centric, and yeah, not for young people, not for the faint of heart or whatever. With that said, given that I want to talk about the first episode of Season 2, this will contain spoilers, so if you mind spoilers, please click off this video. Love you, but you probably don't want to be here. So to touch on the last episode of Season 1, I was wondering how the heck Kaneki was going to change, because he underwent some serious mental and physical torture there, under the hands of Jason. So I had no idea what was going to happen to him. I was really worried. I figured he couldn't go back to Anteiku, the cafe, like it was normal, he couldn't continue living life the same way he had been up to that point. That just wouldn't have fit with the whole character development thing. And I was also really afraid that they would just take away his combat skill that we saw in his last fight against Jason. But they did not, and I was so happy about that. Now, I was watching it with a friend and I, we just marathoned the first 12 episodes and then watched that one immediately after, and we totally giggled a few times as Kaneki was just being a total boss. Like, we're grown men, kind of. I use that term loosely, at least for myself. But we were totally fanboying, and it was amazing. Like, Kaneki comes out, and you could tell he still cares about his friends, but he's all cold and, stoic now, and he goes up and, he's talking to Toka, well, was it Yodo? Her brother, whatever. He's just firing off his little crystals, and he's just using his own, I forget what it's called, gleam in one translation, to just deflect them all. It was so cool. And then while Yodo or whatever, again Toka's brother, continues firing at him, he just completely dodges all of the little shards, goes up behind him and says, "You're Toka's one and only brother, so I won't kill you." He knew he could. He totally could have taken him on, and he didn't, because Kaneki is awesome. Now to touch back on what I was saying with the whole he can't just go back to Anteiku like it was all normal. At the end of the episode, he told Toka that he wasn't going back, but that he was going instead to join the Aogiri tree. Which, screw pronunciation. Though I think I was pretty close. And I didn't expect that one, even though, again, yeah, didn't think he could go back to Anteiku. Going to the Aogiri tree, I thought was the opposite. What I was thinking for Season 2 was that Aogiri tree would be the new bad guy. I thought that what it was going to be was Kaneki was going to have to face new bad guys. Because, as all anime go in, combat anime, you fight one dude and he's the strongest, but once you beat him, there's suddenly another dude who's even stronger, that kind of thing. But, I don't know. When he first told Toka that he was going to join the Aogiri tree, I figured he was going to provide reasoning I need to learn to get stronger so I can protect people, or I want to get closer to this person so I can take him out. I was kind of thinking that he was trying to get closer to the one-eyed owl, because it's another one-eyed ghoul, and I knew he was curious about that before, so why not now? And maybe he still is going for that, but he didn't say anything, so we're just kept guessing. Unless, of course, you've read the manga, in which case, please don't tell me. I'm just speculating here for the fun of it, because it's fun. So I'm glad they kept Kaneki being a boss with his combat skills. I'm glad that they changed his personality slightly, but not enough to completely change who he was as a person. I'm glad that they touched on the whole, they didn't touch on it, this is the new direction, where he can't just go back to Anteiku, it wouldn't be normal anymore. Those things were good. I say that as though I'm leading up to something bad. I don't have anything planned, I'm just saying whatever comes to mind. I mean, I was kind of sad though when he told Toka that he was leaving, because I kind of totally wanted, whoa, this makes it seem a lot bigger. I kind of totally wanted them to have a relationship, not just a relationship. Maybe that's just because I find Toka attractive. I don't know. She's pretty, she is. And she's cool. She's a fighter. But one thing that I keep thinking is that they can't just give all of that up, because they spent the first season building up Anteiku and all the people in there and their relationships with Kaneki and whatnot. They can't just throw that away. But what I figure too is that Hide is still a big part of it. He appeared multiple times in the episode without actually doing anything really. He just saw stuff. But I'm pretty sure at this point that he knows that Kaneki is a ghoul, right? Or at least he has really heavy suspicions, and he knows that Kaneki was hanging around with all those other people. So I'm pretty sure Hide knows. Given that Hide's only real contact in that anime was Kaneki, and given now that Kaneki is leaving, likely without making any sort of communication with Hide, I imagine that Hide is going to approach Anteiku and be like, "Guys, I know what's up. Nah, that's as far as I know what he might do, or think he might do. But I think he's going to talk to Anteiku. Either that, or my friend suggested this, he could join the Doves and then try to work his way up and whatnot. But I figured the only reason he would do that is to try to find out, like, where Kaneki is and what he's up to. I don't think it would be like, you know, best friend suddenly fighting best friend, like, you know, Obi-Wan and Anakin or whatever. That'd be weird. I wouldn't like if they did that. So I'm thinking more the Antega thing. I also really like Hide, throwing that out there. Among some other people that they kept alive, I'm glad they didn't kill off Amon because he was a big part of it. In season 1, you know, Kaneki tried to convince him that, like, not all ghouls were bad and not all humans were good, that the world wasn't, you know, bad because of the ghouls, but because of the humans too. Like, they both had a part in it. And you could tell that that stuck with Amon, you know, like, it brought back memories that he didn't want to have about his childhood, and it made him, like, Kaneki came to mind a lot. And then you see, like, near the end of episode 1, he sees Kaneki walking away, and so you know that he's still, like, thinking about all that. I don't know if he connected that it was Kaneki, but he asked, like, did you fight too, or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what he meant by that, but still, he's still in the game, and I still think that he could play a part in, like, changing the whole, you know, paradigm of everything. I forget what it's called, but I also wonder about the whole Quinque thing that the two CCG guys were using. I forget their names. But it was really cool because it was, like, this symbiotic relationship, because first it was their armor, but then it, like, came alive, and it was, like, sapping their own blood, or, like, you know, the one guy pointed out that if he kept wearing it, like, it would devour him. But it gave them this awesome, like, potential, these awesome powers and agility and strength and everything. And seeing that, you know, progress throughout the season, seeing that advance could be really awesome. So 2 last things come to mind right now, and they're kind of weak, so it's kind of a bad point to end on, but I'm gonna do it anyway. One, I thought the episode seemed really rather short, and it might have been because, again, we just barely marathoned the previous 12 episodes and then immediately watched that one. So that might have made it seem really short, but it also was kind of just tying everything up from the previous episode, which isn't completely foreign to the series or like any show, you know, at that. But it was just kind of weird. Maybe that's just what happens when you're watching a series that you're actually into, and there's not another episode on Netflix waiting for you. I don't know anymore. We're in that kind of society now. But I do definitely want to continue on and see what happens next. The second thing that came to mind is I don't know where they're gonna go with Kaneki's character development at this point. Because who he was, again, he wasn't completely changed as the character, but there was definitely a big change involved. And now that he's all stoic and whatnot, I don't know what could really change. I guess maybe his viewpoint, if he's gonna be like, going from vengeance to protection, or protection to something else, because I'm not sure exactly what he's thinking now. And a big part of that is that I don't know his reason for joining the Aogiri tree. I have to know that before I can really decide where exactly Kaneki is standing. Oh, and one more thing. The theme song was so much better in my opinion in season 1. Like, they even included it a few times during the episodes, and it made it that much more awesome. This one, I can't really see how it could be incorporated into episodes, and the music is just worse in my opinion, at least not as fitting, and the video is just not nearly as appealing to me. That's my opinion, as is this whole video. But yes, I really enjoyed this episode. I really enjoyed the series. It surprised me, because again, I'm not into a lot of anime. I guess I could be, obviously, with this, if I watch them. I just don't take the time to. But yeah, Tokyo Ghoul, really enjoyable if you're into that sort of thing. I would look it up if you are interested and watch this despite all the spoilers. So have you seen season 2 episode 1? What'd you think about it? What have you thought about the series as a whole so far? Let me know in the comments what you think. But yes, with that fanboyish rambling out of the way, I'm going to call it. So with all that, thanks for watching! I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, of course, feel free to like, comment, and if you're new, even subscribe. It means a lot, it really helps me out, and I'd love to have you guys. So, tune in next time for my next video, and until then, take care. Cue outro, go!